And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gem and the Crypto, episode 1032. Today is Monday, December 12th, 2022, and I'm King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At tennis in today's top story, Sam Bankman-Fried's parents no longer on the Stanford Law School roster. CEO of crypto news site The Block resigns for failing to disclose $27 million loans from Alameda Research. U.S. Senator calls on SEC's Gensler to answer for regulatory failures. Binance's proof of reserves raises red flags. Bybit joins trend, releases Merkle Tree verified proof of reserves. And a year after Taproot, Bitcoin community works to unlock its DeFi potential. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at our prices for today. Bitcoin sitting at $17,042, down 0.6% today. Ethereum at $1,252, down 1.5% today. Binance coin at 275 is down almost 5% today. XRP at 37 cents is down 2.9% today. Dogecoin sitting at 8 cents is down 7.8% today. Cardano at 30 cents, down 2.2% today. And rounding out the top 10, Polygon at 88 cents, down 2.3%. And some of our trending coins include Bitcoin, Pancake Swap, oldie but goodie, and ARK, down 16% today. And for the DGens that want a dumpster dive, you can get you some Mal Rabbit. You can get a billion tokens for $1, it looks like, Zebu and Gem X.
I didn't even know Ark was still in the game.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
over
know
here.
why they trying. They must be dying slowly.
I'm over here clicking on Coin Market Cap. Like, is this the Ark from like 2017 Ark?
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Goodness great. I didn't even know that was still the Ark still in the game. All right, there we go. Ark's
All
still in
right,
the game.
still hold on until that SEC indictment comes.
Beautiful. Really quick, doing some shout outs to our Warriors today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Of course, how did the class go yesterday? You taught class yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, coaching class went great. Had a couple people come in. Just general talked about private server. Also talked about Lightning Network VPN. All ways to protect yourself, protect your crypto.
There it is. And don't forget, tonight we'll also be having another class. Today we'll be covering Bitcoin, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, that is for our masterclass students and coaching students. If you're interested in that, email us or check us out at coaching.thegeminthecrypto.com. All right, really quick, what's going on? Wyatt Triad, Wendy Nichols, Larry N, Tommy Brown, Patrick Water, Tech, Fanteezy, BK Boren, Bed-Stuy, Rays, Satoshi Slim, Junior Maley, Chappie, Wisdom Bars, Hassan, Bitcoin Madam. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the show, everyone. And it's good to see you all again. Happy Monday. Top story of the day. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. We're not wasting time. We said we got to stick to 30 minutes. Sam Bankman-Fried's parents no longer on the Stanford Law School roster. Woo. What's going on here? Did they pull a what was happening in California when they found all them famous people got their kids in school? They pulled one of
uh,
them. Hey, wait, what's going on with this story here? Why are they kicking their
nah,
parents? The parents didn't do nothing, right? They just hooked them up with all the wealthy people they know. Other than that, they didn't do anything, right?
Oh yeah, right. This is like when your parents do your homework and you get an F. Yeah, it's your fault. It's your
Bro,
fault,
you
mom.
always on time, dog.
It is your fault, mom and dad. But Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried have started facing professional consequences for their child's illegal actions. The domino effect of his actions came full circle as his reputation began impacting the professional lives of his parents, Stanford law professors Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried. SBF's father Bankman had to cancel his winter session course on tax policy,
Mm.
which at the time, when the family was accused of owning or acquiring an FTX owned $16.4 million vacation home before the crypto exchanges collapsed. Imagine that. The guy who teaches tax policy, who helped create tax policy, actually got relieved of his role. And going forward, on the other hand, his mother was surprisingly not even listed as an instructor for any of the courses. So they just wiped her clean. And while this event coincides with FTX fallout, where Free became a focal point of discussion owing to her political ties, she distanced the move from ongoing investigations, saying it was a long planned decision to retire. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get fired. I retired. Like, what? No, this is
Mm.
definitely the reason that you left, unless they did plan for retirement because of FTX making all that money. So, yeah, the ripple effect of this whole fiasco, like we said, this is going to go on for months. We're probably going to get a new story every day with SBF.
He's funny too. I mean, this is the guy that the world let have their money, which again,
Mhm.
I still don't understand how. I guess it's the parent thing, whatever. But what's pretty funny to me is like he is still talking from this entitled standpoint. But
Yeah.
this is his tweet right here, folks. But as the committee still thinks it will be useful, I am willing to testify on the 13th. What do you mean willing to
Really?
testify? Boy, $50 billion is missing and some of that's American money. Do you really y'all really don't understand this, huh? I am telling you, if you never do it, if you've never done it, take what's called a Tiger Cruise. People, TIGER, Tiger Cruise. You can get on naval ships. I'm not sure what they do for the Air Force and Army and Marines as far as, but basically they do something where they allow family members and friends of close friends, family basically, to join the final part of deployments just to see like a day in the life. I encourage y'all to see it because if you still talking like America ain't gonna make you do what it's gonna make you do,
Yeah.
my boy said, "Hey, I'm willing to testify."
I may show up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Don't testify and watch how they react. Okay, it won't be anymore. Hey Sim, how about we call you in? Hey Sim, how about no Sim? They are going to do you like they did Charlie Shrum, a 23-year-old. Was he 23 at the time? 22.
23. Yeah.
23-year-old man who had a Bitcoin exchange operation in New York, and they sent him to prison saying he was operating an unlicensed money exchange, whatever. 23 years old. Bitcoin had just started when he did this, right?
Okay. Exactly.
23. So for you to say I'm willing to do it, you think they still playing. You think everybody's still playing with you. And I understand why. Ain't nobody died the minds up yet. Listen, 50 billion gone? 50 billion? Listen,
50 billion?
I am glad that him and his family are being disowned by these places. They're a bunch of thugs. They're a bunch of criminals. They stole $50 billion of hardworking American money, and they deserve everything they get. All right. Bunch of thugs. Bunch of thugs and a bunch of criminals back there. All right. That's all they were.
Why don't you just show up to Congress and lie like everybody else? Like all the bankers and all the CEOs.
You know what? No, let's take this. Hey, I mean, in fact, I want the RICO Act. Alameda and FTX sounds like a gang to me. Sounds like conspiracy. It sounds conspiracy. Like it's a conspiracy to launder fucking money. That's what they did. They used one company they own and another company. That's conspiracy. This is gang. These are thugs. These are criminals. I want them off our streets. Say, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm serious though. I'm dead serious.
Hey,
50 billion. I just saw today it was $50 billion right now of losses.
Oh yeah.
Get these thugs out the street.
Get them out of here. And you know what's an even bigger RICO charge is the fact that there's a private Telegram group where there were multiple centralized exchanges that were working together to hold each other up by saying, hey, if we all work together, we can all get rich. SBF was in there. CZ was in there. The guy from Gate.io.
That's why he mad at CZ for real, but he can't say that.
He can't say
why
that.
He really mad. He's like, CZ told me in a private message.
Exactly. It's sort of like the Trump and Hillary thing where they clash because they both used to hang out. So it's like, I told you all my secrets. Now you're out here telling people that I don't do this. That's basically what SBF and CZ are doing. So get them off the streets, people. We need these thugs off our streets.
Hey, honestly, shout out to America because I know how government work. They might be hitting them with listen, I've seen this play happen. Again, I can't remember the guy name, the one who was basically in Asia. He was doing all the private parties. He's like 40 or 50 years old, but he was working with military commanders. There's a whole slew of things. But long story short, they said they was going to like throw a party in San Diego or something for him. And he came, bro, Feds was waiting for him. So I think they might, they hit him with the, hey, yeah, come to America. We're going to do something back for you. And he was like, oh, really? Listen. So this is what I think. Maybe they're just doing this to get him on American soil. Look, Sam, you're great, man. You're fine. Your parents are great. Listen, everything's good. Just come tell us what happened. And as soon as he touched down,
lock him up. Thanks, SBF.
Oh man, this is crazy. We're going to continue this story because unfortunately it's not over. So it looks like we're going to be covering this the same way we covered Terra. I was hoping we didn't have to do this, but it looks like it's going to continue. CEO of crypto news site The Block resigns for failing to disclose $27 million loans from Alameda Research. Again, and this is my point. I'm being funny with the people, but I'm not really being funny. I'm being facetious or whatever. But again, that's three companies right there who aren't telling the truth, okay? You got Alameda and got FTX, and now you got this CEO of crypto news site, The Block. Conspiracy, RICO Act. I'm not even trying to be the police on this. I'm just saying, like, hey, this consistency, people. That's RICO Act consists, like RICO, this is a gang. This is conspiracy to commit fraud, money laundering, and a ton of other things. This is a gang. This is how gangs behave. This is why we try and tell y'all, don't think all gang members look alike, people. They look different. It's different types. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Gary Gensler here in a moment. But yeah, what's going on with this story here? From the Block, new CEO Bobby Moran said there was no evidence that Mike McCaffrey had improperly influenced coverage of Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, or Alameda Research on the news site. Wow. So Zay
Cool.
shared this story with me, people. I literally just read the first paragraph and I already know what it's about. Are you telling me this man was pumping FTX on his news site?
Ooh,
No. What's going on
no.
here, Zay?
A little
What's
bit.
going on here?
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of news sites are always they starving for money.
Coindesk.
Yeah,
Coindesk.
CoinDesk. They're always starving for money, and one of the ways that they can get basically paid is they allow certain companies to give them large amounts of money if they give them favorable coverage on their news site. And the Block, which somehow the guy fintech Frank, who worked for the Block, was able to get an SBF interview like that. As soon as it happened, he was able to get an SBF interview. And if you look at some of their some of the old articles, it was always positive. Saying SBF is a genius. FTX is the way to go. They were promoting FTX on their website. However, I do believe that when they say no one at the Block had any knowledge of this financial arrangement besides Mike.
Ooh,
From
did
our
Mike
own,
keep that money? Did Mike keep some of the money?
I mean, I guess he was trying to save the company, but if nobody knew about it, it says from our own experience, we've seen no evidence that he ever sought to improperly influence the newsroom or research teams, particularly in their coverage of SBF, FTX, and Alameda Research. People, you don't need emails and discords and slacks to do it. He can literally just tap him on the shoulder at the office and be like, "Yeah, I'll edit it, send it to me." You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to put it out there, but I'm sure he had to at least at the very slightest bit be favorable to them, and all of the evidence is there. So, of course, news sites, mainstream news sites do this all the time. So, again, people, the reason why all this shit is crashing down is because we are doing the same thing that the legacy financial market does. They pay off news sites. They get Jim Cramer dumbass to get up there and give counter signals, and then they come back,
Or now we got a new one. Mr. Wonderful. I
Mr.
hate to say it
Wonderful.
too.
Hey, man,
Goddamn Mr. Wonderful.
pajamas and thong flip flops. Hey, my man, Mr. Wonderful out here. That's all they do. They pay off. They get favorable coverage, and then their stocks explode or whatever. We're doing the same thing in crypto, people. That's why it's not working. So this story was crazy because again, apparently nobody knew. It was just Mike McCaffrey. He took it on the chin. He's gone, and hopefully the Block can move forward. But at the same time, these companies are getting exposed left and right.
That's crazy. One thing I want to call out is this tweet. I like this. It says, "In what way did this relationship benefit SBF?" Says a Twitter person. Your reporting is obviously top notch and independent, so the journalism side wasn't affected. What was research will be good to get some info. Would be good to get some insight into that, so we can review the narrative SBF is trying to push in hindsight. So I agree with this Twitter person, and great question. They basically just called the company out because the company's like, "Oh no, I mean it didn't affect anything." So the person was like, "Well, if you're saying it didn't affect reporting, he gave him $27 million. Clearly, I mean,
Yeah.
was he
Come
giving
on,
him?
man.
I almost went. Almost. Was he doing something for him under the table? And I mean, literally, I don't know what was happening there. I heard they was having a party at the house. I don't know. But my point is, with $27 million, you're doing something. It ain't you're
Something.
not doing nothing. So I'm with this question. But shout out to I guess this is the guy, is this the new CEO or one of the founders here, Frank? Let me see. I saw it in the story. But one of the replies was from this guy Frank. I want to see who. Oh
Oh,
yeah, here we
fintech.
go. The block,
Yeah,
the
that's
blocks,
him.
the blocks editor at large. Here it is. Editor at large, Frank Shapiro responded. Clear SBF was a reckless moron, and so was our former CEO.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
believing
fintech.
nothing was pushed. Go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, that's fintech Frank that I was talking about.
Okay, yeah, I'm not believing nothing was pushed. I do. I mean, I haven't looked at their internet site or news, but I'm sure if we go through it, especially a year ago, we can find some things. That's if they're not already wiping it. But on another note, I just want to really call back. You said something about the Telegram thing. People, this is how you also know these people don't know what they're doing. Telegram is so 2017, folks. Like I don't
Yeah.
like I still use it with crypto groups and stuff, but most of the heavy hitters people are not on Telegram anymore.
Nah.
Point blank, period. They're not even
Mhm.
on their own Signal. So for them to still be on Telegram doing this again, that shows how newbie they were. They came in 2018, 2019 on Telegram. The Feds put something out in 2017 was like 100K or something, basically saying if you can give us
Crack
any
that.
pump and dump, yeah,
Yep.
Telegram groups will pay you back or will pay you money or whatever.
Mhm.
People, Telegram been dead. So again, to me, this just shows his incompetence. He doesn't even know how to do things stealthily. He doesn't even know the right cryptographic application to use to get his messages across securely. So this is a guy everybody gave their money to. I can't believe it. All this money. Oh man. Last but not least, this is the story I've been waiting to see. These type of stories I want to come out. U.S. Senator calls on SEC's Gensler to answer for regulatory failures. You know what? Let's go ahead and go. Goodness gracious. I mean, are you telling me people are actually doing their job? Oh my goodness. Our taxpayer dollars aren't going to waste. Really quick, this is my beef with regulations in crypto. They cannot and do not regulate the traditional market. Goldman Sachs was caught with $1 billion of cocaine on a ship and it went disappeared.
Yeah, JP Morgan.
JP Morgan. I said Goldman Sachs, pardon me. JP Morgan. What other company, period, name any company, and include Apple too. And the reason why I'm going to include Apple, I don't really care, but their CEO is, isn't he gay or whatever, homosexual?
I don't know.
I think he is. Yeah.
I Tim Cook, right? Yeah, Tim Cook.
Only reason I say that, I'm making a point here, is because y'all forget the gang is the old school gang, people. Tim can get his ass rolled up with Apple too, is my point. All right. So my point was, if Apple were to get caught with $1 billion of coke on a ship, they will be in trouble. But fucking JP Morgan gets caught with $1 billion on a ship. We actually did on our show a couple years ago. We need to redo it again, where we look at all the fines banks received throughout that year. And just on a yearly basis, the amount of fines they're receiving and no jail time shows you it is an unregulated market still. It's semi-regulated. It's pretty unregulated. So my beef is, why, when you can't regulate the traditional market, you think you can come over and regulate one that's more sophisticated? And I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make derivatives on derivatives, like you just said. The reason why this is all blowing up is because they use the same banking practice. But they don't care. They're just like, no, we're just going to keep doing it. But finally, again, the book stops here. Republican Senator Tom Emmer has been a critic of Gary Gensler and the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission's cryptocurrency oversight strategy, and looks like he is speaking up. He said, hey, you're starting to mess with my portfolio now, buddy. Minnesota Senator, or I guess it's Minnesota Senator Tom Emmer has slammed U.S. Securities Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman, that's right, for his flawed crypto information gathering efforts, quote unquote, saying that Gensler should appear before Congress to explain the cost of his regulatory failures. One more time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you why I like this story so much. Because not only is the heat now on Gensler, you're in the hot seat, flew a little too close. Listen, shout out to Bitcoin. Everybody keep thinking they're going to beat technology. You're not going to beat technology. It's ones and zeros right here.
Yeah.
They keep thinking they're going to beat it, and Bitcoin and the community keeps coming back, slapping the shit out of people. Listen, Gary Gensler, the SEC commissioner, one of the highest positions in the United States, is now officially on the hot seat by another senator. People, this is huge.
Oh, yeah.
This may change the entire regulatory outlook for cryptocurrency in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is what I mean. If Gary Gensler does get on the hot seat and they're pressing him to the point he might get fired type of deal, resign, any of those things, you better believe the next SEC commissioner will not come in here gung-ho on crypto. Wow. If anything, they might try to shut it all down.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, I don't want no, oh, hell no, y'all. I got 4 or 5 kids. I got a wife or a husband at home. I got parents to take. I got all this. I am not about to lose my SEC position because after this, I'm supposed to be getting multi-millions from this law firm or working for the, you know what I mean? They're not going to blow that position after they see what's going to happen here. So I think this is a great news story because if they can put the heat on Gary Gensler, they don't need to turn it all the way up. If they just put a little, let them marinate. If they just let Gary Gensler marinate, I can guarantee you not only will the next SEC chairman that come in, but also the regulatory, everyone that's in the regulatory environment right now, they will reel off of Bitcoin and crypto because they will fully understand that they don't understand it and it's too early to regulate it. Because this is the problem. If you try to regulate it like Gary Gensler has been doing, he's been trying. If you try to regulate it, and as you're trying to regulate it and you know about all these people and companies, you the man, right? Everybody got to pay you. We got to pay SEC, IRS, CFTC. It's taxes in every different direction. We don't know who owns what Bitcoin security, commodity. Everybody wants their piece of the pie. But as soon as some shit like this happened, now it's like, Well, you were the one cutting the pie. You cut the pie, bro.
Yeah.
You helped bake it. Technically, you'll let them do it. You baked it, you cut it, and now all of a sudden something's wrong with it. This is on you, my man. This is on you. So again, I'm excited about this. I'm sorry. Emmer's comments came in a December 10th tweet to his 67,500 Twitter followers, where he referred to a bipartisan blockchain caucus. Like, oh, everybody in it.
Let's get it.
That he co-authored to the SEC chairman on March 16, or as this article says, March 16. And again, I want to reiterate, they're not doing this to protect you, people. They're not doing this to protect the market. They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. They are literally only doing this. And the reason why you hear about FTX so much is because they lost money too now.
No, yeah.
Mr. Wonderful, when Mr. Wonderful loses money, he's calling up the people he helped get elected.
Yeah.
When the people who got elected loses money, they're calling the people who are in charge of everything. They run shit.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is Gary Gensler. Again, I'm so excited about this.
Oh, yeah.
Emmer said that we now know Gensler's crypto information gathering efforts were ineffective. Why is he in the chair then? Citing the collapses of Terra ecosystem and the crypto platforms Celsius, Voyager, and FTX. Let's not forget, was it Block? What just went out?
The Block.
Block something just went out again. BlockFi, not BlockFi. Somebody's went out. My point is, people.
Yeah.
Terra was huge. Celsius is huge. Voyager is huge. FTX is huge. This is my point. Why are you trying to regulate a market that you can't regulate the traditional side of it and you don't understand it? You don't have to believe me. I'm not speaking from conspiracy. These are the facts. The senator laid out the facts. These collapsed this year under his watch. Let's not even talk about last year. This is this year. Oh, man. Shout out to Tom Emmer. I'm about to follow him on Twitter. Tom Emmer tweet says, we now know Gensler's crypto information gathering efforts were ineffective. He declined to provide Congress with the information requested in the letter, which would have informed Congress of the apparent inconsistencies in Gensler's approach that caused him to miss Terra Luna, Celsius, Voyager, and FTX. Well, really quick, here's the reason why he missed it. Another senator person pointed out already, essentially all the regulators are in this power struggle to figure out who's going to own crypto. And again, I tell you that is the reason, because they want the money back. Because whoever gets to own crypto as an agency, they got to get in, they get money, they get funding, right? They want more money to line their own pockets. Is being called out. There's no reason for the CFTC, the SEC, and the IRS to be arguing about who's going to be in charge of freaking crypto when it's a global thing. And the chips are falling. I love it. The house of cards are falling. Zay, this is amazing. I'm sorry, man. I'm so excited about this.
I know. Hey, shout out to old white Republicans, because they will clean your ass up. Because it seems like they're the only ones that'll come in and say, "Hey, I don't like the SEC either. I don't like Gary Gensler." And for some reason, this is a massive failure on the SEC's fault, because that is right. How did you miss Voyager, Celsius, FTX, BlockFi? You missed everything, but somehow y'all went after library tokens and XRP. That's what y'all been focusing on. So again, I think they've basically been soft with the big companies because they can't control it. And honestly, this is something I'm gonna tell people as far as prediction wise. You see all these companies falling in crypto and all of these waves of different things happening. I honestly think this is exactly what's going to happen in the legacy financial market this time next year. Around this time next year or before, you're going to see big companies. You're already starting to see the signs. BlackRock pausing withdrawals. You're seeing large investment companies starting to withdraw as well. This is just a microcosm of a macro problem. And you're just going to see all the dominoes start falling because everybody's over leveraged. We got $80 trillion missing in Forex markets. $80 trillion. That was from the Bank of International Settlements, a.k.a. Jigglypuff, who runs that. $80 trillion missing, and I'm telling you that somebody's going to come up short. And, of course, this called out by Tom Emmer. Cool, but can y'all please do something with the legacy market first as well? But it would be funny to see Gary Gensler do the perp walk, because he's working alongside companies like FTX and basically just ignoring them.
This is crazy. And, again, I'm excited about this. And this is, again, Bitcoin actually keeps showing people. If you notice, every time people get to talking smack about Bitcoin and the markets and all this, what happens to that person and that professional? Like, literally, they should be bucking to a stop, people. I'm telling you, Gary Gensler, you are no better. You're not any different. You're a mere human like the rest of us, trying to compete against technology that you don't even understand. But what you did understand was money. You tried to line your pockets and you got caught. And what makes it worse is not only did U.S. taxpayers lose up to $50 billion in this FTX debacle, but you're also, and here's the hidden tax cost, we also pay for people like Gary Gensler.
Yeah. Come on, man. We paying this man salary. Mr. Burns,
Bruh,
what are you doing?
we paid a guy who is trying to get us to get taxed more and not be able to make money in this market.
Mhm.
And at the same time, he's giving grace to the companies who are literally trying to steal from you.
Yeah.
If you heard SBF talk about FTX, it literally was like, well, you can just make a token out of thin air and whoever believes in it, then they'll do it.
Mhm.
That's literally what we said. No one who has been about Bitcoin has ever said anything of the nonsense like. So
Mhm.
if he's talking like that publicly, he's not going to sound that much more intelligent to Gary Gensler, folks.
Yeah.
It is like you gotta break it down even more in layman terms. So again, I'm just excited, man. I don't know what to say. I'm excited about this story.
Oh, yeah.
If Gary Gensler does the perp walk, we are free in crypto for another year or two, people. I'm telling you,
Oh,
they are going to go hands off that mofo. Okay, bro. You know how embarrassing that is to be the SEC commissioner getting called out by a bipartisan letter.
Oh, man.
It's over.
Mm.
All right. Now to better news. This is something we've been covering essentially now since I think March, April, February of this year, end of last year.
Mhm.
Binance. Binance's proof of reserves raises red flags.
Mm.
Again,
Who would have
we've
thunk it?
called it many. We called it many times. Again, the first big ass red flag we had was there was trouble. Myself personally logging onto my account, and then I saw Binance. I was talking before the show today about this. I saw last year and this year Binance started doing this thing, which only time people do this in crypto is when they try to keep money because something's going on. They did this thing where they basically was like, out the blue, hey, you need to verify like your IP address. Basically, you need to verify the country you're in if you want your crypto. They basically did. They gave everybody a time limit, like 9 days or something, but they was like, if you don't verify, your crypto's lost to the exchange. I can guarantee you a lot of people's crypto is lost to the exchange. Okay,
Oh,
because they're like, well, even if you do verify, once they see that you're not of that country, they're not giving it back to you anyway.
yeah.
So the fact that Binance had that going on was kind of a red flag. But what's going on here with Binance Proof of Reserves?
Oh, yeah. So, corporate structure, Bitcoin liabilities, and internal control quality are among the points of concern for Binance. And again, we keep telling y'all, none of these centralized exchanges are your friend. Binance's efforts to improve transparency of its reserve also expose red flags in the crypto exchange's finances, according to accounting and financial specialists consulted by the Wall Street Journal and the FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, member and investment manager. The report released by the audit firm did not bring investors confidence about the exchange's finances as it lacks information related to the quality of internal controls and how Binance's system liquidate assets to cover margin loans. So we'll slide down to this quote here where it says, we found that Binance was 97% collateralized,
Woo!
taking into account the out-of-scope assets pledged by customers as collateral for the in-scope assets lent through the margin and loan services offering, resulting in negative balances on the customer liability report. And with the inclusion of in-scope assets linked to customers through margin and loans, they were over-collateralized by out-of-scope assets. We found that Binance was 101% collateralized.
Holy
To make that simple for you, people, they have a bunch of money that they owe. It's on margin, and they're way over collateralized. And I think I saw somebody say that they're basically like $9 billion in the hole. However, if they restrict withdrawals, there it is. Customers, according to it, belonging to customers worth $9.7 billion at the time of the report. So $9.7 billion. That's nothing to sniff at. And I've been saying, well, we've been saying it forever. As far as Binance, is something fishy is going on, and the whole SBF fallout. Again, this may be a part of the ripple effect. Is now everybody wants to do proof of reserves, and now we're starting to look and say, your reserves are shit. Ugh, what y'all been doing over there? They've been over collateralizing, investing in their own exchange tokens that have failed miserably, and unfortunately, it's coming back to bite them in the ass. I'm telling you all, centralized exchanges are gonna fall. Peer to peer is coming back. The only exchange I see that's going to stick around for it really is Paxful, because they're the only ones that do true peer-to-peer. Shout out to Ray Paxful. But I mean, most exchanges, this is basically all of exchanges. Because remember when we did proof of reserves on that show, King, and we were like, yeah, you got proof of reserves, but it's from a third-party audit firm. How do we know they're not lying? You know what I mean? So we can't really see.
Todd said, Eli from What Happened to Common Sense channel said, has been saying that about Binance as a criminal organization for years.
We have
Shout out to
been laundering.
K, right? Shout out to KBAD Computer Science Realm for the tip. Much appreciated. Really quick, we're going to give a quick breakdown, quick 10, 15 seconds. This is how we know Binance is doing, not just Binance. This is how we know which exchanges don't have liquidity, people. Like, when you say Binance is over collateralized, first of all, if you don't know what that means, you need to join the masterclass. We just went over it again a couple of weeks ago when we were looking at the DeFi platforms doing the collateralized loans. We actually did one on Curve, I believe.
Yeah.
Of course, the masterclass has one on Aave. But one of the points I was making, I said, hey, there isn't a platform out there right now that's really going to go above 80 to 85% collateralization. For those who don't know what that means if you give them $10,000, then you can basically take out $8,500 worth, right? 85% or up to 80%, $88,000 worth. That means you can't take everything out and they still have a little bit. They're saying CZ is saying, no, we got $10,000. We taking 97 or 9,700 out, or even better, we're taking $10,010 out. All right. So a couple things, people. Here is how this is very easy to spot on exchanges. I know it sounds crazy coming from us, conspiracy theory and all that, or it may sound like we're hating. But when we say things like, who is this person? Where do they get the money from? The crypto space is very small, right? Even for the big billionaires and all that. So when you have exchanges and you have people on these exchanges sponsoring arenas, FTX, or like Binance, sponsoring this, Binance in different countries, Binance is buying this platform, Binance is saving this company. Where is the money coming from?
Exactly.
And you all need to understand something. So they do make a lot of money, right? Transaction fees. But that's only, believe me when I tell you this, the money they made from transaction fees was really the only way they can make money as an exchange. That's being used on the staff, on the exchange, and then on the top tier people actually spending the money. What do I mean? Okay, the CEO, if you brought in 50 million, you use 30 million to pay staff, keep the company going, all that. You're going to buy a house. You're going to buy a car. He's traveling. They're spending the money. So you're telling me they have enough money to pay whole staff, to keep an exchange running, to buy all their luxury items and goods, and to travel around the world, be at every conference, fly cars, fly this, private jets, and invest in other companies and businesses and stadiums and arenas? How? Unless you are using customer funds.
Exactly.
Like
That's what I'm saying.
fuck?
And that's why I put on my tinfoil toboggan. Because
you a fool. I like that. I'm gonna make me one. I'm gonna make me a foil hat, bro.
I got my tinfoil toboggan on today because remember when Brian Brooks, the former U.S. comptroller, he got hired by Binance and he was gone.
I remember that.
Month? Yeah, I think he saw.
Oh, you remember that? I do remember that.
Brian Brooks, I remember that way back when he got hired and he was gone in a month. I think he saw what was going on at Binance and was like, hell no, you're not about to get me caught up with this. I still got some consulting jobs I can get. I'm not getting caught up with Binance and his shenanigans. They hired somebody else.
Yeah.
They hired somebody else as well after him and they left. I forget who it was, but that's when I started.
3 months. I'm looking at the article. 3 months. 3 months. He was there for 3 months.
I think that was 2018. That's when we started looking at Binance sideways. So
that actually is right. I remember we covered that because we were like, what made Brian leave after 3 months when all that money's involved?
He saw all that laundered. All that laundered.
I do. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So
it's crazy how this circle. Really quick. Here's that story, people. Where is it at? I can't even find it. Oh, here it is. Here's that story from a couple years ago, right here. 3 months. 3 months into the job. So I do remember that. Yeah, that was a red flag then. Goodness gracious. Brian Brooks called. Shout out to Brian Brooks. Comptroller called it out.
I do not forget. Like, I do not forget. That's what people don't understand. I don't forget nothing.
I would love to see Brian Brooks talk to people when they ask him about Binance. He'd be like, have you ever known an American regulator to walk away from money? Well, then what more do you need? Like, all right, last couple of quick stories we have to cover. These are both quick stories. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Bybit. You know what? You got to give a shout out when people doing it right. Bybit has been one of the platforms we have been using for some trading and stuff. Not leaving it on the platform, but they do have a lot of stuff going on. I did notice they, unfortunately, unless I didn't look thoroughly enough when I was teaching the class a few weeks ago, Bybit took off the leverage to 100. You can only go to 5 from what I saw. So I'm hoping I did something wrong or I didn't see it right. But from the hour I looked at it, I could not find the 100 times leverage. Maybe they did update the site and change some things. So maybe I didn't see it, but it looked like it's gone. And even if it's not officially gone, I highly doubt they're going to keep the 100 there. That's just asking for regulatory. It's inviting them. But again, I want to shout out Bybit because they did join exchanges and posting their transparency on December 12th and launch a Merkle tree-based proof of reserve system. The new transparency initiative allows its users to directly verify Bybit's holdings along with their personal assets deposited into the exchange. What are your thoughts on this? Anything?
Well, basically, they're trying to prove they have the assets. We'll see if they do. I think this is a good way to do it by uses of Merkle trees. But I don't believe shit until I see it. So we'll see once I check it out.
And of course, if you're considering or asking yourself what is a Merkle tree, feel free to Google or take that masterclass. People, we're going to keep telling you because we cover all this stuff in it, literally.
Oh yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we just brought this story up just to talk about the headline. A year after Taproot, which is a Bitcoin upgrade, for those that didn't know, Bitcoin community works to unlock its DeFi potential. We wanted to bring this article up because 1 year after Taproot, Bitcoin is working. The community is working to unlock its DeFi potential. One thing I want to remind everyone, which we always tell our masterclass students, DeFi and a lot of this stuff, including NFTs, are still in beta.
Very early.
Web3 isn't not even in beta. That's still an ideal to me. There's not even nothing yet. So when you talk about all this stuff, and again, we talk about in our coaching sessions too, we love to use these platforms and different things. You have to remember they're in beta. That's the main thing we try to stress across the masterclass for all Celsius, BlockFi, Nexo, FT. This stuff is in beta. It's technology is in beta.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to make it as derivative as possible to sell it the way they want to sell it. But when you're actually talking about the nitty gritty technical stuff that's going on, it's in beta. And the fact that Bitcoin has been around the longest and is just now getting around to unlocking its DeFi potential should tell you everything you need to know when it comes to the other 21,000 projects.
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin's that. You got anything else for today?
Hey man, one thing I want to say is calm down. Don't try to rush into it. Reno Gamble says we were right about working slow. Let me give you a quick stat. December 11th, 2017, price of Bitcoin was $17,100. Guess what the price is today? $17,100. Nothing changed in 5 years except for all of the noise. But if you were building the last 5 years, Bitcoin's right where it was. So you didn't miss anything, people. Slow down, take a deep breath. We're still early. And of course, DeFi is coming on Bitcoin, which I think is actually the only pure form of DeFi.
There it is. Last couple of comments. We went 7 minutes over today. All good. We're getting closer. Who was this? Walker Lamer said, "Where is Catherine Coley? She was the CEO of Binance US, and when Brian Brooks came on, she was silenced to this day."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. PFC Wells Trek said, "Notice Brian Brooks ain't been in the news for the last 6 months. Not a quote or anything." Hey, he was like, "I'm done. I'm good.
I'm about to hit the Bahamas."
Right? How do you go? No, Ratface isn't Brian Brooks. Ratface is the guy who made the bit license. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget him. That's Benjamin Lansky or something. I can't forget his another crook, thug. Thug should be in prison somewhere. Crypto Commandments said, "How do you go from chief controller to CEO of Binance US and then walk away? I mean, completely away in the dark." Yeah, so everybody said he disappeared like Kaiser Sosa. Oh yes, Apple Podcasts. We do need to update that. We'll get it done. And shout out to Reggie Milner. That was the other person I forgot to mention today. Reggie's in the chat. My point exactly. Get Gary Gensler. How do you go after library, like a library creators like Bitcoin's A, and you go after Veritasium and then Paxos launch 24 hours later?
Yeah.
Gary Gensler, come on, bro. Same project, dog. Different founder.
Yeah.
What we doing? What we doing? If it's wrong, it's wrong. But if it's right, it's right. But Reggie said, "Did you guys discuss the extreme changes that must come to the stablecoin industry in the next few months?" Not today, because we mostly cover the news, but we'll definitely cover it on Friday, for sure. And Reggie, we need to have you back on ASAP because I know Reggie has some insider information. He said unsustainable business models, and they all infringe on the patents who owners are not paying. All right, it's about to get real. Other than that, that is the show for today. You said you got anything else? Bitcoin's my fault.
That's all from me. Jump on the Discord, join the Warrior chat as well, and make sure you join the coaching tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
There it is. Last comment I want to end it out on. I like this. Reggie also said, "Not only is the tech all in beta, there is no truly old school and experienced crypto pros. The whole industry is only 12 years old."
Thank you.
Great point. Great point.
You say that.
Well, BitBoy is. So other than that, but make sure you smash that like and share. If again, if you have questions about all this stuff you hear and there's a lot to absorb, check out the coaching classes, check out the master class. We'd love to have you in it. We do payment plans now as well. We just want to make sure people get in there. The goal is 2024, 2025 for that next happening. Smash that like and share. We will see you all tomorrow at the same time at 7-ish or 10.